you got a talent that you want to share with the world, click the live button. If you got a talent that you want to share with the world, click the live button. Hello and welcome to today's stream. So we're back with art. I know we missed it last week. Woohoo! Stuff happens, but we're here this week. And as you can see on the screen, we're going to start with the bird. If you read the title of the stream, we're going to be doing working on this bird, and then we are going to follow up the bird with not that. This one, the burger and fries. Both of these are intended to be sticker designs eventually, or t-shirt designs, or whatever the heck I decide to upload them to. But for right now, we still have to finish them. Let me move this over so that I can see if anybody joins and wants to chit chat on TikTok. And then I'm going to take the last bite of my dinner, and then we are going to get started in earnest. Okay, so originally I did a sketch for this on or around Valentine's Day, thus why it is like very heavily leaning into heart motifs. And the idea for this is that it's inspired by like those fat little pigeons, not pigeons, parrots that you see on social media, usually like the blue ones or the yellow ones, and I've seen them in green sometimes too. Just ridiculously rotund birds, way too fat. Probably a problem, but I don't own birds, so I can't tell you. But it's inspired by one of those, and then it's also going to have like the color motifs of like those like pigeons with like the red chest. Or a dove? Dove? Is it a pigeon or a dove? It's a dove. Bleeding heart dove. So let me go ahead and grab one of these. And fair warning, it looks gruesome, but the bird is fine. This is just how they look. Okay, so these birds, the bleeding heart dove, they produce a like I want to say like a pigmented kind of oil that gives them the look like their chest is bleeding. It's birds are weird, as everybody knows. So again, the bird is fine, that's just how they look. But I thought it'd be interesting to take this like coloration on the chest here and add it to the little bird that I drew. And then I might do like one of these numbers, right? Excuse me. I know you guys can't see it on the screen here, so let me try to scoot this over so you can see it. So over here, the way that I have my Clip Studio set up is very similar to the layout of Paint Tool SAI. So if you are familiar with Paint Tool SAI, you would know that like up here is where you can view your canvas up here in the left hand corner, and then down here is where I have my layers set up, right? And then right here in the middle is something called layer property, and you can do like special effects and stuff. So this circle right here, if you click on that, you can actually make the edges of your stuff different colors. So for example, I'm going to use this paint bucket tool right here. I'm going to click that and it's going to automatically fill in with the color of whatever I have selected on this side. So if I go over here on this layer, let me start a new layer, click on that line so I have the edge thing, click that so it fills in with the color that I have selected. And very important, go over here to your color palette thing that you're using. You usually get these two colors and then the clear thing, which I don't know what the fuck to use that for. So you click on your opposite color from what you selected over here, okay? And then when you do that on Clip Studio, it gives you the option of when you write something, it has that color on the edge. And you can also adjust the thickness. Right here it's set to 3, but if you adjust the thickness to like, I don't know, 20, obviously it's getting larger. So I think that's a very nifty little thing, like setting that they have on here. And what I want to do is maybe like do some sort of like rainbowy effect or something. I don't know, something crazy. And then I'm going to do like, that's way too big, hold on. Obviously I'm not going to like make it perfect right now because we're not that far yet. Well, what I want to do is after we have like the red all right here for the bleeding heart dove effect, is we're going to have something doing this number. Like that. Like a Cupid kind of arrow thing going on is the idea. And obviously it's not going to be like an actual arrow piercing the bird, it's just going to be like decorative, okay? I might even do like a couple of them, I don't know, we'll see how I'm feeling when we get that far, but that's the general idea, is what I'm thinking. And obviously, since the video is labeled, well the stream is labeled Pink Bird, it's going to be a lot of pinks. Pinks and reds is the idea, because like I said, again, I sketched this on or around Valentine's Day, but I just obviously didn't get around to finishing it then, so that's our stream idea. And then here, we gotta get back to a decent pixel width for my brush so that I can continue the inking process. As we all know, again, repainting, I work very slowly, so while we have the idea of doing this and the burger, we might only get to one of those. The point right now is that I'm going to be inking this, and then once I'm done inking this, I might move on to the burger and ink the burger, and then we'll flip-flop back and forth like we usually do. Not the right thing. It's way too big. Did I have it set to 5? I might have had it set to 5. Gotta turn the stabilization back up because I was sketching nonsense before. I hope everybody has had a wonderful day. and we'll continue to have a wonderful evening. And not to worry, if you are a lurker, I appreciate lurkers just as much as I appreciate active viewers. In fact, I might appreciate lurkers a little more because I don't have to talk. But if you are lurking and want to go ahead and hit the follow button or like the stream or whatever the social media platform that you are viewing this on wants you to do for engagement purposes, I would appreciate that quite a lot. And I'm sorry about the sniffling. I have a chronically runny nose and there is nothing I can do to help that. Currently on off stream, and when I'm not drawing, I'm currently working on scripting my new YouTube video, and I think it's like 18 pages so far, so it's gonna be quite a hefty video, all things considered. And part of the ending of the video is going to have an art critique for a piece of art that was requested to get a critique, like, I don't know, in November of last year, but that post that is asking for the critique is still up. So I am going to critique that piece of art at the end of that YouTube video. So I am looking forward to that because not enough people want critiques nowadays, and it's something I actually used to really like doing on DeviantArt back when they used to have like the critique section of DeviantArt, and I'm kind of wondering why they got rid of that, because I think that's a very useful like tool and feature and everything yada yada for artists to embrace. Because I feel like part of the reason why a lot of artists get kind of like stifled in their style journey and stuff like that is because they don't ever get the opportunity to be critiqued in a healthy, progressive, and like educational way, you know? And I kind of also blame just the general atmosphere of like current social media trends with like rage bait and hate posts being monetized and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of sad. See, I used to want to do like critique videos on YouTube in general, and then I would always ask for people to submit their art for me to critique, and then it would just kind of, I would do like 1 or 2 videos and then just get kind of burnt out about it. Because I grew up in the era of fandom Tumblr, when Tumblr had this like coding problem. It's kind of ridiculous, like in hindsight, looking back on it now. But Tumblr used to have this problem on their website in which when you would reblog something and add a comment to it on the actual like post itself, what they would do is that like what you would expect to happen is that when you make a post, you'll have something like this, like just a line of text, and when someone would like reblog it and then make a comment on it, you would expect their comment to appear like this, and then so on and so forth for however many people would comment on the post, right? Well, that's not what ended up happening ye olde back in the day with Tumblr. What would happen is person OP would make the post, and then when you would reblog it and put the comment on it, it wouldn't be as long as the original post, right? And then if someone else made a post under that commenting on the, let's call it a thread, they would comment on the thread, that too would be smaller until it was like that. And then if someone else made a comment on this post, it'd be even smaller. But of course you have to fit all the characters on what's being posted, so you would get like things like this where if more people commented, it would go like this and got incredibly hard to read. and it was just the stupidest thing ever. And I cannot fathom why anybody would code the website and think that was an appropriate like way of coding the website. It was, again, it was ridiculous. But during that era, if you would comment on someone's post with something that they didn't deem like worthy of being commented on the post, they would DM you and threaten you and just harass you to no end to delete that like post and then make your comments in the tags. So when they started doing that, it became a little hectic and chaotic and hard to find things because they wouldn't be tagging their post appropriately because they would be putting their comment like of the post in the tag system, and it was ridiculous. And I'm kind of wondering like if people still kind of do that on Tumblr now, where they would like they'll make like posts, comments on posts like in the tagging system, and just it was a very toxic environment, to like put it very simply. I think threatening someone over a Tumblr post like that was kind of outrageous back in the day, but that's just my opinion, I guess. And maybe that was just like the fandom circles that like I unfortunately found myself a part of that would do that, because like the more popular the fandom is, like at the time of like the peak of its popularity, the more toxic that like you'd have people in that group. So like for instance, during this era, it was like the peak of the Homestuck fandom, so it was not an ideal time to say the least. Still can't believe like back in the day, Homestucks used to be like the worst fandoms that you can be a part of, and then like every other fandom that came after them was like 10 times worse in my opinion. Sorry about the clanging. I'm using like a glass jug and a metal straw, so the noise is not ideal. I'm trying to think if there's like any other like big details I want to add to these wings before I move on. Maybe these feathers like right here, like maybe like as little hearts maybe. I'm wondering how many hearts is too many hearts for a heart motif on this animal. Hopefully the answer is there's no such thing as too many. But I guess we'll see if this looks stupid or not. I don't know, gang. I think it looks stupid. So we're gonna scratch that. Twisting my microphone a little bit. Point it more towards my face. Maybe that'll help with any audio problems that I don't know if I was having or not, because nobody tells me anything. I had someone comment on my gaming channel about reducing vocal fry. No idea what that was, so I was like, T, I got a new microphone, hope that helps. And now looking it up, like, I guess vocal fry is like some like aspect of someone's voice. I'm like, that's just how I talk? My bad. ends up happening to me a lot, actually, when people comment on things like that I don't understand. I'm just like, my immediate reaction is like, oh, they're not being rude or anything, so let me just be polite back. And then I'll look it up later. I'm like, oh, it probably wasn't the nicest comment someone could have left. But I suppose I appreciate any and all feedback. Alrighty, I think that's pretty cute. Let's turn off that. What I might do here is what I want to do is try to thicken up the outmost line. So what I'm going to do is first make sure I got everything. You're going to reverse the selection and go out by, let's see, 3. pretty cute. So what I'm thinking to do is just do some very preliminary kind of base colors, and then we'll move over to the burger and fries. So ideally, the light pink is going to be like the overall base, is what I'm thinking. We'll do like trying to like be perfect about this, just getting the general idea of what I want to do. So it's gonna go out of the lines and I'm gonna miss some spots. That's gonna be okay. decide on the color yet, so I guess that would be a placeholder for right now. Thinking something like that, perhaps. And then I might even do like even some darker patches like at the tip of the feathers, perhaps, maybe. Not exactly sure yet. But this is like the placeholder for the colors for right now. So now I'm just going to go ahead and save it. And hope that I turned on the time lapse. I did, yes. Yes. Alright, where is my cheeseburger? Let's see. Okay. Next we're going to start making a process for this. So first we need a canvas color. Lower the opacity of that a lot. And now let's do that dark, like red. Red color was pretty good. So we'll probably keep that. Yeah. Although the pickles probably are not going to look the best with a red line. Like maybe I should have kept like a traditional black for this one. So this is actually a design that I had floating around for years. And I'm surprised I never got to sooner. relatively round. Do you ever like draw something that you've seen a million times in real life and just realize like, wow, I don't think I've ever actually looked at this object before. That's how I feel like whenever I draw a hat. So I'm drawing this hat like, have I even seen a hat in real life before? Like, I'm gonna go Google what a baseball hat looks like. I really don't approve of like the fluffy texture of this hat that I found, but it's at a good angle for what I need. Okay, so let's restart the brim here. could also, in theory, just stop being so ridiculously picky. Which I think is probably the route one I have to take. Is just stop being a nuisance to myself. When it comes to art, you are always your own worst enemy. And it's unfortunate. Because I don't enjoy making everything difficult for myself. And yet, here we are. Making things difficult. Stylization is your friend. Stylization is your friend. Stupid cheeseburger wearing it. Why do I have to make life so hard for myself? TikTok's pulling up my phone. Because I posted a stupid video before going live. They keep giving me like monetization incentives, right? So I wanted to try and see if they would actually send me any money for posting about the topics that they want. And most of the incentive like topics that they keep wanting videos for is encouraging other people to go live, and like I barely but what can it hurt? If they give me money, that'd be pretty freaking cool. having a pleasant evening yourself. One second, I gotta yell at my husband. Dustin, can you do me a favor before you go to bed? Can you switch out the laundry, throw a new load on with whatever t-shirts you want clean? You okay?
Fall asleep on the couch.
Okay. Love you. Okay, I'm done yelling at my husband. Adjusting to a new job. That sounds... I guess it depends on the job. I won't say it sounds tragic, but sometimes new jobs are kind of impossible. But again, it depends on the job. Like when I did door-to-door, terrible. Worst job of my life. Well, one of the worst jobs. I'll be honest, I don't really have many good, like, working experiences. The last job I had, like, obviously an hourly job, was alright, except, like, this one lady there, I don't know what her problem was. Lady in her, like, I want to say she was either 50 or 60 or something, older woman. Really, really, really wanted to, like, be, like, the popular high school kind of girl. And within, like, the first, like, 3 days of me working there, she had started a rumor that I was sleeping with, like, this dude that she had a crush on, and she was really mad about it. And she started the rumor because, like, the dude, who, mind you, was her age, like, 50, 60-year-old dude, just wouldn't leave me alone. Asking me to, like, come over and cook him dinner, and, like, asking me to help him figure out how to burn CDs because he wanted to, like, make a mixtape and a bunch of other weird stuff. And I'm like, bro, leave me alone. I am married. There was 2 dudes at my last job that were like that just would non-stop, like, harass and flirt with me, and it got to the point where, like, I had requested to, like, move to the other part of the building to get away from these dudes, and they're like, why do you want to do all that? And I explained the situation, and they're like, yeah, we'll take care of that. And the one guy, the non-violent one, I should clarify, because the one dude, he ended up getting fired because he was like threatening to stab people and threatening to shoot people and a bunch of other crazy nonsense. But the non-violent older dude threw a hissy fit, was like, "Oh, I'm not even allowed to talk to anybody at work. This is some bullshit, blah 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 blah." And I'm like, bro, you were doing a whole lot more than just talking to me. But he never came to like me to like bitch and complain. He just was doing that to the manager that told him to fucking leave everybody alone. Because he was making more than just me uncomfortable. There's a time. But besides those two dudes, like, just being nuisances, and the one lady just wanting to, like, make a bunch of rumors that I was sleeping with everybody in the building, basically, that job was pretty okay. By the time I left, I was upgraded to, like, a department where I basically sat at, like, a sewing machine all day, for the most part, and, like, put, like, what are they called? Like, they're like little chip things that you scan into the computer to like stock things. Because we washed garments and stuff that got rented out to like restaurants and hospitals and stuff like that. And they were upgrading their computer system where like they didn't have to like hand count anybody. Not anybody, anything. They wanted to like scan in all the stock with the chip instead of like a barcode or anything. So they tried to show me how that system worked. They didn't know how it worked. I already knew how it worked though, because I was familiar with it from doing something else unrelated to that work. And so I had to show everybody else how that machine worked. Fun times. I've also done, like I mentioned, like beginning of that full spiel, I've also done door to door. Used to work at Steak and Shake. That was a nightmare. That was a really disgusting nightmare. The Steak and Shakes, like both of the locations in my town, got shut down very briefly for health code violations for being disgusting. And the health department posted on like the news or some news article website, they posted pictures of like the things that the health department released for how disgusting the restaurant was. And I kind of laughed when I saw the pictures because it was like 110 times cleaner than when I used to work there. But of course, it's a gigantic chain, so like corporate got involved and they're open again. But that sure was a time. I think they fired the whole store, like both the stores, and like hired all new people, if I'm not mistaken, but that kind of nonsense is why I don't miss retail. Yeah, my one like for when I worked at Steak and Shake, I was a cook, so I didn't handle any customers. And then I did work a retail job though. I used to be a cashier at a grocery store, which was its own flavor of issues for sure. Moved on to the new role in the same department, which does a lot of the same thing but less people facing. Been trying to move out of my old position for years. Love my team. Got burnt out on the work. 1 second. What did I do?
No, I'm switching. Basket that's next to the dirty clothes basket. Dump that, and then put the clean clothes in this basket. I dump these clothes and go, all the clothes in this basket are really warm.
Yeah, they were clean.
Why is it right next to the dirty clothes basket and not with all the clean
Oh,
clothes?
because I was being lazy. I didn't want to like take it from there.
So I got what I could. Some of the clothes you just washed are probably in the dirty clothes hamper. We're fighting each other. Just with the clean clothes, please don't be lazy. I'm not doing laundry. I don't know.
Okay, it's fine. I'm not mad.
Well, I'm a little mad. Like we're fighting each other. Just clean clothes. Like literally just cross the threshold. Like if you would have moved it 1 more inch to the right, past the line, I'd have been like, those clothes are pretty.
I'm sorry.
But since it was literally right next to the dirty clothes, I was like, those are pretty. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, well, the rest of your work clothes are put on the table out there. Did you find the t-shirts you wanted? Did you find the t-shirts you wanted?
No, I was too mad.
I love you. Good night. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. My husband was talking to me about the laundry. Because we're trying to catch up on laundry. We got a lot of clothes. Alright. So I think that's pretty good as far as the line art for this goes. Now I'm just gonna throw down some assortment of base colors and then probably gonna have to call it a night because I usually get off at 9. Dark for lettuce, so we might change that. I apparently never saved that. So let's do that now. We're gonna do a similar thing that we did with the bird, in which I'm going to do like a thick layer around. Well, that is my alarm. I have to go. Obviously I have to get off the stream, but I have to go deal with my dog, give him his nightly meds, and wrap up for the night. So I hope everybody has enjoyed this stream. So obviously we inked and did the base colors here on the burger and fries, which I'm not like such a big fan of like the color of the fries themselves. So let me see if I can change that really quick. This will not leaving off on like any sort of negative note here. That's a little better. I might like bring up a picture of like actual french fries and like color pick out of that, but for now that's gonna be good enough for tonight. So like I said, we did the ink and color on the burger and fries, and then on top of that we also did, I already had like the inking process when this started, but we finished the ink on this and we started the base colors on this as well. So hopefully within the next few days I'll have these done. Perhaps, we'll see. We might actually end up working on these in next week's stream because I'm currently off camera working on my next YouTube video, which is incredibly long. I'm still not done with the script. The script so far is like 18 pages, but I still think I have like 3 or 4 more pages to go, like at minimum. So we'll see how everything progresses from there. Anyway, I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the night. And if you are on the Patreon exclusive server, feel free to chat some more.